everyone. Welcome to Adobe Live on behance.net/live.
Hi,
My
guys.
name's Erica Larson, and I'm an Associate Creative Director on the studio team here at Adobe. And I'm here with Andrea Hock, who's a very talented designer and one of our Adobe Creative residents. She started a project yesterday that we'll be following through with today and into tomorrow. We're the last stream today, but here's the schedule in case you want to catch some of the awesome content that we have happening tomorrow. Starting with the XD Creative Challenge and all kinds of great experience design streaming, ending with us again.
Last
at
but not
1 o'clock.
least. Save the best for last.
Right. In about half an hour, we have the Chat and Win, where we'll give away some of these super cozy XD socks. We'll talk a little bit about that later, but for now, let us know where you're watching from. We always love to hear where folks are tuning in from.
We had a few from St. Louis yesterday. I'm from St. Louis, so
Cool.
I always like to see if people
Socks.
They're very comfy. I have some. I can.
They're nice and tall.
Yes.
Probably, I mean, not very seasonally relevant to
after
us
summer,
right now,
but,
but they'll come in handy for
they're
sure.
cozy.
We have someone from NYC, Brazil, Ecuador.
Ecuador, wow.
Yeah, from everywhere. Houston, Ohio, the Philippines at 4 a.m.
Oh, that's dedication, man.
I hope that
Maybe
you're
get
up
some
that late
sleep.
willingly. Yeah. So we also have the XD Daily Creative Challenge happening, and today's is to do a quick check-in experience for a smartwatch. So it'll be an interesting constraint to work with such little space.
Yeah.
And if you want to know more, check out the challenge tab on behance.net/live, where you can pick up a really nifty UI kit and join a special Slack channel so that you can stay up to date. And we'll be reviewing submissions to that later on.
Awesome.
But Andrea, why don't we take a look at your portfolio and you can tell us a bit about yourself and your work.
Yeah, so like Erica said, I'm a creative resident. So I started the residency a few months ago at like the beginning of May or so. So my project is all about automated devices and IoT, which is basically the connection between the internet and all of our everyday objects so we can communicate with them. So if you think of like the Roomba and like the Nest, those sorts of fun things. So yeah, this is one of my projects. I'm doing an automation series where I'm like asking the community for ideas of things that they want automated in their everyday lives. So if you have any ideas, send them my way on like Twitter or Instagram, DMs. I'm
Or
on like
even the chat.
or here.
I can help collect those.
That would be great. Yeah. So send me ideas. I'm always looking for new ones.
Cool.
But yeah, these are a few of mine. As you can see, I tend to go for like the very bright gradients of those. This one's an automated like yoga mat app. So wherever your poses are or wherever your feet are positioned, it'll tell you like what position you should go in next. So like obviously some of these are kind of conceptual and some are more realistic, but just trying to get people thinking about like just areas that they can improve in their own lives.
Great. We all need a smart fridge for sure.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us what you were up to yesterday and what we're going to do today?
Yeah. So since I already have this automation series, I'm going to be just doing another one of those. So normally for those, I just do like 1 or 2 screens, but for this, since we have a lot more time, obviously, I'm building out like all of the UX and showing the whole process. So I started with some paper prototyping yesterday, and I showed you guys the sketches on there. And then I transferred those over to Adobe XD. So I started with the just super basic low fidelity wireframes in XD. And then today I'm building on the visuals, so making it a bit more refined and higher fidelity mockups. And then tomorrow we'll probably finish up maybe the visuals depending on how quick today goes, and then start on some prototyping in XD. So all about XD.
It's super exciting.
Yeah. So I made a few little changes yesterday, and I'll show you guys. This was the document from yesterday, so I'll quickly kind of run through this. So we had, and I didn't mention, this is an automated mailbox app. So again, a conceptual one, but we all hate spam. So, I mean, I hate getting like all of the same coupons every day and having to like sort through them and throw some away. So
most of it away.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for this one, it will automatically sort all of your spam out for you, and it's like it learns which ones you want to keep and which ones you don't want to keep, but you can always go back and change if you're like, hey, that's an important wedding invitation or whatever. I want to keep that. Could be problematic, but so here we have the login screen, and then we go into the welcome screen if you have not created an account before. And then we've got the tutorial screen. So these are just giving a brief overview of what you can do with the app. So these are the main like features. So no more spam, obviously, is like the main functionality. And then of course going green, we don't want to be, tearing up the earth. So it's all about like it recycles the letters that you don't want. And then all about security too. So you can set a PIN number and see when your mailbox was opened. Again, I was like kind of unsure if that's really a necessary feature to see like who opened your mailbox and when, but just it's conceptual, so we're gonna throw all the bells and whistles in there. Notifications, so get notified when you get certain mail, because obviously everyone loves getting packages, and like I wish that was a thing for just like normal letters too, instead of just like UPS,
Maybe people would write more of them if there was something celebratory that would happen when you opened your box.
Yeah, like, hey, you got a birthday letter.
Yeah.
Someone handwrote you, or like a postcard or something. And then, okay, so then once you get through the tutorials, we've got the home screen here. So this is just giving you kind of like an overview. You've got like 8 new letters and like how many are important ones and how many of those are spam. And then I'm gonna put some illustrations in there today. And then down here we've got, this is just like you thumb up on the menu. So this will be an overlay. And then these are all of the different areas that you can access. So today's mail, just a more detailed view of like exactly what today was important and what was spam. And then we've got the sorted mail history. So like I mentioned, you can go back and see all of your mail, very detailed. So you can scroll down here and see more of the calendar and click on certain days in those circles if you want to see specific ones. And then it will show all the info down here. And then this is your mailbox open history. So like I mentioned, see when your mailbox was opened, and again, very granular details, but like it was open at 3 p.m. for 2 minutes or 30 seconds.
We're snooping around.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's reading your mail. But it's all about privacy.
Maybe you live with somebody and they check the box and you can be okay with knowing that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true. Your roommates or whatever, if you don't trust your roommate.
Right.
I don't know. I'm a trusting person, but it makes me not look like a trusting person here. And then we've got settings. So I have a bunch of different settings here. You can go into the sorting threshold. So it will like learn based on like AI which ones you want to keep, but you can set it for low spam or high spam. And then just like manually say which letters that you want to keep.
Really quick, somebody's asking how you put that iPhone overlay on your artboard.
Oh, this is actually just in, let me show you. You go to File and then Get UI Kits, and I think it was the Apple OS one. So it'll take you to this website, and then you can just download for Adobe XD. So I actually already have that. I think it's...
That's so cool that you don't have to worry about building any of that yourself.
It's really nice. And it's just in the menu up there, so
super
quick.
Easy to get to.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So this is the iOS one. Then you just copy and paste it.
Cool.
Got a bunch of stuff. And then I also use the Windows one, just for like the back arrows and stuff. So you don't have to keep recreating all the...
There's so much
in
there.
I know. Super handy. So yeah, just like simple icons. So we covered the sorting and the spam, and then again you can sort manually you can say what's your important mail. And then privacy, like how long do you want the mailbox to be open after, if you accidentally leave it open or something, or if the postman leaves it open. And then choosing a PIN number, so all of your lock settings, and like if it gets locked out after a certain number of tries. And then your notifications, so if you want to get notified specifically when you get certain mail, or like certain coupons or bills would be super important.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like walk down to the mailbox. We're all about laziness here.
Right. I mean, these are things that you shouldn't have to worry about, right?
Yes.
So I have a question. Yeah. I'm wondering how you go about defining all of the different things that you need to think about.
Yeah, so yesterday I showed a little, let me flip to that. Normally I just start out on like paper and pen, super simple. Before you get into all like the granular details and you get too far into like starting the visuals.
Right.
But I don't know if this is on, but oh, perfect. Yeah, so I just start out with basic pen and paper, and I write out a user flow. And I just list like the most important features. So this is just like very quickly, like, 10 or 20 minutes, just like getting all my ideas down on paper first, and then when I get it in digitally, I can, think about it more clearly if I need to change things or run it by other people. But yeah, this is just the brain dump.
And what are we up to today?
So today we're adding the visuals, and I mean, this is pretty much the same. The only thing, I wasn't sure if I would be able to finish the settings down here, so I kind of already started these, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start defining all the fonts and the illustrations and the colors. So, and then over here I started a few icons, little slider, toggle, and then these are the main colors that I'm gonna use, so like bluey purples, and then we'll be adding in some illustrations. And I'll show how I made those illustrations as well with Adobe Capture. So let's see. Start with the login. So I'm using, what's this guy? And if you ever, this is a super important thing that I use like all the time. If you're ever not sure what, if you already have something listed in the assets panel, you just right click on it and go reveal character style and assets, and then it'll highlight it. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's which one it is.
Is so handy.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah. So I use that one all the time. So today, just gonna be going through, adding the specific fonts.
How do you go about choosing a typeface?
I have a few that I love and use like all the time. Actually, I think I showed these yesterday, but these are a few of my favorites. So the cool thing with the residency is we get Creative Cloud free for life, which is amazing. So I always have like the max on Typekit, like the amount of fonts that you're allowed to use. So let me see.
Did you know that they just let you go hog wild and there's no longer a limit? Well, it looks like you have
to
one.
the fonts? Oh, you don't have a limit? Oh, yeah, I can only have 101. Oh well. I wonder. Maybe you're on a different plan.
Maybe.
Or something, the special plan. Anyway, so these are a few that I always use, like Out Next. Como's a fave, of course Futura, classic, and today I'm using Source Sans Pro. Yeah, I usually look for like pretty minimal ones though. I don't really like, unless it's like a lot of text. If it's a lot of text, more like book style, then I'll use more serif fonts, but I tend to stick to non-serif.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know that the Typekit team released these things called font packs recently, where if you go to Typekit and you click on the Browse tab, you have all of these different packs. Whoops. And there's one that's for screen design. So you can click on that, and then it'll take you to a big group of fonts that work really well.
Yeah, they like handpick them. That's
exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I did not even notice that.
Something
That's
to
really cool.
consider if you struggle with type.
Totally. Super handy. So let's see, this one might be a little too light. We'll make these darker. And then I made this little cute mailbox illustration. I'm gonna put that here. It's gonna be our main illustration. I think I'll reuse this twice. Maybe without this notification.
It's adorable.
Hopefully it makes you want to use it. Like something fun. Oh, or do I like this one better with more letters? I think I like this one. Yeah, I really like doing my own illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it adds like a really personal touch. Keeps it more playful, especially for like serious things or things that could be super boring, like a mailbox app could be. Like, oh, that seems boring. But if you add illustrations, then it's like, oh, that's something fun.
Yeah, and I think it probably helps you speak a little bit more closely to your audience too.
Yeah, definitely.
Through aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asks, has a general question. When designing an app, do you make the same design for iOS and Android, or do you make different design patterns for each system?
Normally, I generally use the same. I try to reuse as much as I can, just to like save brain power and everything. Let's see.
Rob Jenneret is watching. Hey.
Hey guys. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that I'm doing. Yesterday I was going kind of fast through everything, so I'm gonna try to like slow down a little today. Create account. Actually, I want these to line up. I'm using pretty wide margins on this one.
Is that more of a visual decision, or?
Yeah, I don't know, I just think it helps like look a little more like polished and like minimalistic. And it helps you focus on like whatever the hierarchy is. So like here it's, you look here first and then you look at the create account button next.
That color.
Welcome.
What do you think it is about blue?
I don't know. I use it all the time. I need to
but it's
expand
not just
my
you.
horizons a little bit.
It's
I don't know. You know, there's like the certain colors like make you feel certain emotions. Like McDonald's and like all of the fast food restaurants are all like red because I think that makes you hungry.
Right.
And yeah, and like, you know, if you're painting your walls in your house, there's like certain guidelines for like if you want to, like in your bedroom you're supposed to use like purple, I think, because it makes you sleepy. I don't know.
I heard that the color yellow, which is a pretty typical color for a baby's bedroom, actually makes them cry.
Oh no, really? How ironic. That's so funny. Good to know. Don't have any babies now, but in the future. That's so funny.
Blue looks like Lynx. I wonder who decided that blue was going to be the color that was the call to action, or is it just sort of a self-sustaining? That's what we were using, and what we continue to use.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting idea. I think I'll make this a bit bigger. Oh, I actually don't have a name for this. If anybody has any name ideas, I'm just calling it like auto mailbox app, but that's kind of boring. Maybe like,
has to be something charming, inviting. Make mail sound a little more fun than it is.
Anti-spam. I don't know. I'll think on that.
Put your suggestions in the chat.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna show some of my illustrations, or how I did the illustrations.
It's perfect because Eric says you got all the best icons, just good taste.
Oh, thank you. That is so nice. I don't know if the GoPro's going.
We have our first suggestion. Spam no more.
Spam no more. I like that. Very nice.
And Karen says that blue is known for being informative and building trust.
Oh.
Which makes sense.
I feel like that's true because a lot of bank apps have blue.
Right.
And this is like, you want people to be or you want to feel trustworthy here because, you know, it's your private letters, so.
Totally.
Let's make this a symbol.
What is a symbol?
So in the assets panel over here in XD, we've got your colors, your character styles, and your symbols. Oh my gosh, this was such a revelation when I figured this out. Basically, you can reuse all of the like icons and illustrations and fonts and colors that you use all the time throughout your design, and you don't have to keep reusing it. So whenever you update one, it will update the rest of them. So that could literally save like hours and hours of time.
Yeah.
And it's nice you can rename all of them. Actually, I always forget to do that, but I guess I'll do that now. So this I'll call, this should be like H3.
So then if you have to, for some reason, hand off the file, then somebody else can figure out what you're getting at.
Exactly. Really good if you work closely with developers or just a large design team. What should I call this? Like trustworthy blue, since that's the theme today. Yeah, so I've got like, you know, stuff like the status thing up here. That's one of my symbols. This, like the iPhone dimensions or guideline thing in the background. That's one of my symbols. And then I just lock all of those since I don't want to mess with it anymore. But
would you mind showing how you locked it? I think somebody was asking about that earlier.
Yeah. So you can just go like this
to
unlock it, or if you go in your layers, you just hover over whichever layer you want, and then you click the lock button.
Cool.
Yeah, super easy.
Andrea did make all of those illustrations herself, and she's going to show you how she did it.
Yeah, the GoPro isn't working right now, but once we get it working, I can show you. No worries. Okay, so this one. See, I feel like I keep going back to this. What did I name this? H3. Oh, I didn't press enter, that's what it was. Oh, okay. Is it working now? No? That's okay, we can do it later.
There's plenty to do in the meantime.
Yes, there is. Okay, so this one is gonna be about recycling. A bit big, so let's scale that down a bit. Oh, perfect, it's working now. Okay.
Awesome.
So, yeah, pretty rough. Like, this is just as real as it gets, guys.
That's how the best ideas start.
Exactly. And I didn't even have a pencil, so it's all in pen. So that's what we're doing today. So I had, for each of my, like the tutorial screens, I just write down like welcome, spam, go green, secure, all of the main features. And then, so I can see everything at a high level. So for the welcome one, yeah, pretty scribbly, but I knew I wanted to show like that it's connected to the internet, and then just like some letters coming out of a mailbox. And then for the spam one, I was thinking like, I mean, do you get that's a net? Like that's what I was going for, like catching the bad letters.
Totally.
Yeah, like sorting through them, you know, kind of playful. And then go green, like a recycling bin with a little leaf sticking out of it. Although I'm not sure about the leaf right now because that's a different color than the rest. We might go back to that. And then security, you know, a lock with like an envelope, pretty simple. And then notifications, just like, you know, getting on your phone and seeing that you've got certain letters, so a little pop-up message there. So those are just like the first step from the illustrations. Those are like super quick. I don't really go into too much detail. And then after I like the first kind of round, then I'll go into the more like higher fidelity, if you will, sketches. So, and I do these pretty big because I usually use Adobe Capture on my phone. And if you haven't used this app, it is amazing. I use it all the time for illustrations. So once you sketch it, all you do, here, let me show you the logo. So this is Adobe Capture, and then you just click this button, and you just hold it over your illustration, and then you can, oh, sorry, it wasn't. I'll hold it up.
Plug it in.
Oh, right. Gonna plug this in for you guys. So you just hold it over your illustration, and then, oh, okay.
Wow.
Perfect, thank you. And then you can like move this slider and determine like how much of the lines you want to capture. I usually just leave it in the middle because it's already pretty accurate where it is. Just click the button and it'll take a snapshot of it. And then you can save it to whatever like Creative Cloud library you want. I have this already in, oh, maybe because my Adobe Livestream. So it automatically switches over to my Creative Cloud library account. So that's how I made all these illustrations, super easy. And then, like I said, just making all these pretty big. And then I normally bring these into Illustrator, so I'll show you guys that. I mean, if you're doing something more like higher fidelity, like illustrations, I always go into Illustrator rather than XD. But it's very easy to switch the illustrations over. So, like I said, you can open the CC panel over here, and then it'll automatically show all of your illustrations there, and you just drag it over onto your artboard, and it'll be a vector.
Remember when we needed a scanner?
I know! And those are expensive too.
Yeah. And Capture's a free app.
Yes,
so I recommend just taking a look at it because it's super useful for
and
all
there's a
sorts
lot
of
of other things like patterns,
brushes,
yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
And it's nice because these are all editable, and like if you want to get rid of the text, you just go in and delete all the anchor points and resize it and everything. And then I just like traced over it with the pen tool. Obviously that's a little more work. I'm not going to show you all that, but yeah. And then I just brought them over into XD. So very
When you brought them over,
easy.
did you just copy paste?
Yeah, literally just copy and then paste. It's actually pretty good about like keeping all of the drop shadows and like the strokes, but.
So do you just keep them on the side for safekeeping? Do you generally work that way?
Yeah.
Cool.
I usually keep just a separate artboard for like my UI kit. Obviously right now it's not super organized or anything, but if this was like a company document and you're sharing it with a bunch of people, then you would want to label all these and like have different sections for like the colors and then the icons and illustrations. But since it's just me, it's whatever. Yeah. So next we've got Go Green. Oh no, wait, did I do that one? Oh, this one's over here. Go Green. Net for spam. And the welcome. I think I'll just reuse this one for welcome.
So we're about 1 minute away from the chat and win, y'all.
Yay. Did anyone have any other ideas?
For names?
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
What was that first one? No spam or?
Oh.
I don't remember. It's so far up in the chats now. Sorry, whoever suggested that.
Kiara says she loves the illustration and the blue.
Oh, thank you.
Letter free
Letter free?
for the name.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Because then it doesn't have like a negative connotation. If you use the word like spam in it,
Right.
then it, you might think something negative.
Broadens its application.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and use that.
Spam no more was the one that we forgot.
Spam no more, that's right.
Spam be gone. We're so very close to the chat and win. 10 seconds.
Secure. Drag this one over.
I love what you've done with that one because it doesn't feel
Thank you.
like it's dangerous. It makes security look like a happy thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I just added a few little like graphical elements in the background
I love those.
here. Those were just in Illustrator.
Okay, we have fireworks.
Yay!
We're doing the chat and win, so
Oh, I better save before I forget.
submit your best title for this app in the chat pod, or just say hype.
Fan spam, that's kind of cool. Spaminator.
I love this little animation.
I know, so cute. Okay. So like sometimes some of these illustrations, the strokes get a little bit big, but that's okay. We can quickly edit that. Notifications.
Once
People
the name's
want
ready-
socks.
Once the name's ready, I'll show it.
Okay.
So just give it like another 30 seconds or so.
Envelope, that's a neat idea.
Yeah.
It's out.
Walter, you have won these beautiful
Yay,
XD
Walter!
socks.
Very comfy.
Yeah.
So cute. Congrats.
So adorable. I love the XD tile. So cute. Good job.
So I'm just working on the copy a little bit here.
When you're working on a project, do you tend to work with a writer who makes everything sound beautiful?
If the team has one, like,
Yeah.
totally. I love working with a writer instead of having to, it's just another thing to think about. And
Yeah.
but I do like being involved in that process because that's like a huge part of the tone of the whole user experience. Because if you're using like a more formal tone, then that will really come through in the designs. Or if you're using something more playful or like cheeky, so instead of like get started, maybe it'd be something like let's do it, you know, like friendly and fun.
Marcella's wondering if Walter's wanting to sell his socks that he's just won.
Adobe has the best gifts. You guys have like the pillows.
Letterfree's growing on me.
What was that?
Letterfree. The
Letterfree?
name is
Oh
growing.
yeah, yeah. Easy to say. Happy.
Just a reminder, if you haven't checked out the challenge tab, definitely go look at that and look at the XD Daily Creative Challenge where you're prompted to design a check-in app for a smartphone.
Ooh yeah.
I mean, a smartwatch.
Can't wait to see what you guys come up with.
Walter says that he's here every day, and today was the day that he finally won.
Oh yay! Loyalty, see folks.
Pays off.
Yeah. Are those random or? Okay. Sometimes I debate whether having a skip button is like good or bad because I always want people to go through the tutorial, but I mean, I feel like you have to have it there just for the option.
It's a funny challenge, right? Because you don't want them to be frustrated by the tutorial, but you don't want
Right.
them to be frustrated by the stuff that they were supposed to learn during the
Right.
tutorial. Voodoo Val asks if there are any other cool font suggestions, ones that you use pretty frequently.
Yeah, so Como, Avenir next.
I love Avenir.
Yeah.
Gabriel has some suggestions. Montserrat, Gotham, Leto are a
Gotham's a
few
good
that
one.
never fail.
Yes.
And Leto is one that is included with Typekit as part of the free.
Oh, is it free?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
the free library.
Very nice. Free's always good.
Lots of hype for Avenir. Cortado for display. Do you have a rule of thumb for how short you tend to make your tutorials? Is 4 more or less the max that you'd go?
Yeah, I try to do 3. I feel like people just get bored after 4.
Right.
Like, definitely not 5. And another thing is I always try to keep the text very short and minimal. Like, I don't know, even 3 lines seems like a lot because people are mostly looking at the illustrations anyway. But yeah, keep it short and simple. Otherwise, I mean, since they just download the app, you don't want to lose their attention right away. And these are like the first screens that they see.
Lots of love for Futura, which is
It's a good one.
a contentious one, I would say.
Yes, it is.
It's everywhere, Gabriel says. Right now we're using Source Sans.
Did you see, I'm sure everyone here knows the Papyrus SNL skit with, what's his face?
It's so cool to see graphic design sort of leaching into to popular culture.
All my like non-designer friends were talking about it too, so.
And you're like, yeah,
guys.
we've been making jokes about it for years.
Yeah. You guys are just jumping on the bandwagon late. Okay, so I'm about done with these tutorial screens.
Cool.
I feel like the skip could be even lower.
Do you typically just go by gut?
Yeah. You can also turn on the grid if you want to use that. So you just click on the artboard and then it'll show you the grid. You could do layout view or square view. I usually do square view for like lining up icons and stuff. And then you can change the square sizes. I usually keep it about 18, but I think the default is like 8 or something very tiny.
They made that so easy.
I know.
Every design app should have that.
Totally. Okay.
This is looking really good already.
Thank you. I don't know what to do with this. Get started, maybe I'll just make this a little wider. Okay, so those are done. Oh, actually we don't need the arrow on the last one since we have the get started button. All right, now we're on to the home page. So we just have the date. Oh wait, I lost these. I'm gonna have to, oh, I changed them to white on some of them, that's why. Let's see, do I want a banner up there? Yeah, I guess I do. So like a lot of times, even if like this part wasn't in the wireframes, but if it's just me working on it, like whatever, I'll just switch the wireframes around. Send it back. And got a little bit of overlap up here, so I just need to move this layer down. Honestly, the thing that I love about XD is the layers, because in Illustrator, I honestly would only use like 2 layers.
Right.
Which is terrible. And then when you have to like switch over, like share your file with someone else, they're like, why didn't you label the layers? Why do you only have 2 layers? But I'm just lazy like that, I guess. So it's nice that you can see everything all at once here and you don't have to like go into a separate menu.
Yeah. I think especially going from Photoshop to Illustrator, those layers can really confuse people.
Definitely. Okay. Yeah, I usually keep the assets panel open though instead of the layers, but personal preference. 8 new letters. Oh, actually I want to make sure I have the same margin, so. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but sometimes you just use a square.
We're scrappy.
Yes. Okay, and then we're gonna, I think I'll just add in the same illustration up here. This guy. So then this little notification number will update to whatever the daily number is. Stroke got messed up there. Okay.
I honestly feel like if the notifications were blue on your home screen instead of red, I might feel totally differently about them.
Right,
So
like, oh, I got a notification, yay!
not something that you have to clear right away.
Right. I have like anxiety about that.
Me too.
Maybe I'll get rid of this there so we don't have too much duplication. And then important and spam, so let's add some icons there. Use this icon and that one. So these are just like the pen tool.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
In Illustrator.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you have to outline them, or is that something you?
No. So I started out with, for the exclamation one, this one was originally just text, but then I thought it would look a little better with some curved edges instead, since most of like the illustrations are curved and these are rounded corners. So I try to carry that through in all the icons as well.
Ahmed very kindly points out that the numbers inside the circles are not aligned.
The numbers. Oh, okay, all right. That's true. They're not.
You know.
Thank you for pointing that out. There we go. Gotta be super precise here.
Right.
Got like however many people watching.
No, we're scrappy.
Okay, that's better.
We fixed it, Ahmed.
Yeah. Happy now? No, I'm glad you told me.
That's the kind of thing that I'd like after I publish it or hand it off, and I'd see it and notice it later, and you just kick yourself.
Totally. Oh, that's too big. Okay, I think that's good. Maybe I'll come back to that later. Okay. So this page is actually just for the overlay, because in XD now you can do that without having to like duplicate all of this info onto the next one, and just have the overlay menu.
And you deal with that in the prototype mode when you get to it?
Right.
Okay.
And then change this font. Make this, what color is this? Just normal black.
I don't know if we've landed on just the perfect name yet, so keep those suggestions coming in the
I'd love
chat.
to hear some more options.
It's also just entertaining.
Yeah.
So.
So then we've got some icons for these. Today, history, open, history, and settings. I don't think I did add any. I'll have to make some. Well, let me go ahead and add these icons in. Copy.
Are there rulers in XD? Somebody's
Um,
asking about that.
Besides the, I don't know actually. I
I'll
always just use the
investigate.
grid, but that's a good question.
Yeah, let's check it out.
I'm sure there is. Okay, spam icon.
There are not, but
Oh.
something that's pretty cool about XD is how closely they listen to the
Mhm.
requests that people put in. So if
Yeah.
you go to adobeXD.uservoice.com, you can submit features and the community will up and down vote them, and that helps inform what the team will work on next.
And I
So
feel like they really listen.
they do, yeah.
Like they want to get it right.
And they're also super happy to have that feedback.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to copy this same little drop shadowy square for each of these in the menu.
Do you tend to go to the same drop shadows when you're designing, or is it more of a case by case?
Yeah, definitely case by case. Like for instance, if I had a drop shadow on like this one or this one, it depends like how deep, what the hierarchy is as far as like what you want to look at first. So since these are the top level, then I would want this to be like less of a drop shadow. So maybe it'd be like something very light. Like that, like super, not a lot of drop shadow. But I'm just gonna leave it flat. Debating if this should be a blue. Maybe.
We like it.
Maybe a light blue. And then today, what would be a good icon for today? I'll just
I'm interested in how you're negotiating which type style to use there.
kind of deciding like the scale compared to what these icons are. So I think right now they're too like equal, so I want them to be a little less. A little bit. And I think I'll make them, oh, maybe a darker blue. Yeah, that's a little better.
Gabriel has some cool suggestions for titles. Perfect Box and Right Mail.
Oh, I like those. Perfect box. It's like the ideal mailbox.
Yeah,
Very nice.
I'm feeling that one. Eric says this is coming along like magic.
Oh, thank you. Gosh, I love hearing all the compliments, guys.
That's
And
what
the
we're here
criticism, too.
Yeah.
I need to hear that.
Very important.
Yes.
Real people are going to use this.
Yes.
And we have about 40 minutes before the challenge submission deadline. If you want more information about that, just go ahead and click on the Daily Challenge tab, where you can get a bunch of information about how to participate. I'm impressed that you're using the pen tool right here in XD.
Yeah, we're just getting dirty. Down and dirty with it. And they have the new stroke feature, so perfect.
Got those rounded
Yeah,
endpoints.
It's not the best, but it'll work. Can even move this one. Go. And then just add the arrow So this is the history icon.
Okay, so going back in time. One thing I miss is the eyedropper tool from Illustrator.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, because like here I would just eyedrop this part,
right,
or even like this.
Yeah.
We should submit that in the XD forum.
I'll make a note.
Yeah. Today, what would be a good today icon?
Any suggestions? Chat, folks. What is a perfect symbol for today?
Settings. Maybe I'll just use the settings icon from the Windows wireframes. Let's see what they got. I'm sure there's a settings one here. Oh, here we go.
That's kind of funny. Looks more like a sheriff's badge or something.
It does.
Although still kind of relevant.
Yeah.
Kind of. Oh, there we go.
Let's see if it works with the fill.
I was seeing
not the fill.
When it was small, I was seeing something else.
Let's see.
Gabriel says a sun, a calendar, a clock. The words "you are here." A sun, an eye, or a star.
Oh, a star. Okay, yeah. That's an easy one. I like that.
A map, pin. It's so interesting to me how we start building visual language in other apps that then start informing what things should look like in totally unrelated scenarios.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's like we're going back to like when the Egyptians would like carve
hieroglyphics.
Yeah, hieroglyphics on the walls. Like it looks the same thing. Like emojis are the new hieroglyphics.
Hashtag sunfam. The sun is a star, so you still win.
Close. Today. Oh, wait. Oh, today was the star. But what about open history? Maybe a calendar. Yeah. Oh, no. I'll do like an eyeball for viewing.
Oh.
Since I already have that. It's easy.
It's a good reason. I like that icon a lot.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion for the 2.0 release of this app.
What's that?
So something that myself and my partner fight about all the time is how much mail he gets, because I'm all paperless everything, and so I need something that will not only sort our mail, but will gently remind him to deal with it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Not just like set it there. Maybe
Right. Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, so I need another app to make sure that like goes somewhere after it comes inside.
Right. Maybe that's like the in-out box or in-out tray.
Yeah.
And it like combusts after a certain amount of days if you don't deal with it.
Right. Or rocket launches it into his face.
Yeah. I like that. Well, you know they have those, there's like that bracelet. It's like Pavlov's bracelet, and it like actually, it's not vibrates. It's like a dog collar, like stings you or something.
Oh.
If you can like train yourself to do certain things.
Wow. Yeah.
There's all kinds of things out there. Yeah. I'm not loving that blue, but we're just gonna keep moving on.
Looks good to me.
Okay. So now I'm working on the sorted mail for today. So this is the detail view page.
Raphael asks if you took a course learning about hieroglyphics. You must sound knowledgeable.
Wow, guys. Could have fooled you. No, I did not. Art history, but I do not remember much from art history, unfortunately.
It's a lot of memorizing.
What was your major in college?
Communication design.
Okay.
And I took a lot of printmaking.
Oh,
also.
that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still do any printmaking?
Yeah, I was in the studio yesterday screen printing.
Way. That's awesome. I would love to still do it, but I don't have like any access to.
Right. That's a huge impediment.
Yeah. Okay, these. I'm gonna gonna bold these. Why isn't this bolding? Oh, I have to go in, yeah.
Eric says don't talk about art history.
Oh, sore
Hate
subject?
it.
Oh. I'm curious how many of you guys are in school right now, or like if you're at work.
Or if you're actively learning on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess you are if you're here.
Yeah. Good for you guys.
Yeah. I'm learning so much just watching you here.
Oh, thank you. That's what we're all about. Oh, and this was something I mentioned yesterday. Sometimes the repeat grid gets cut off. So, like, it's a little hard to see, but...
Oh, I see what you mean.
This, like, the first line will be, like, this will be, like, one pixel, and this will be 2 pixels. But all you have to do is just double-click, and then just arrow down on your keyboard a little bit, and it'll be fine.
For those that weren't here yesterday, could you mention what the repeat grid is?
Oh, yeah. So, this is maybe, like, my favorite feature in XD, because it just saves so much time. So... any object that you have, you can just click on it and come up here to this repeat grid icon. Press that, and then it'll give a green line around your object, and then you can repeat it either down or horizontally. And then also, my favorite part is when you hover over the center, you get these, the pink area, so you can update the grid. Makes everything so quick.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So people, in response to your question, a lot of people are saying
They're at work.
At work, yeah. Mark just graduated. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Eric's in Adobe school. Work and learning. I think that's my favorite thing about working for Adobe. Maybe you've had this experience being a resident, but that learning new things is so embedded into the everyday.
Yes, it really is. Yeah, if anyone has any questions about the residency, let me know. I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah, ask questions about the residency. It's such a cool thing.
Yeah, I'm loving it so far. Get to work on whatever creative project you want for the year. I mean,
and be popular, basically.
Build your brand equity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Robzilla says N box for a new title.
Oh, whoops. End box.
The letter N.
Oh, end box.
N box.
So if there's something that you don't want, so like this is a symbol already, and if I don't want to update everything, like when I start making it smaller, hold on. When I start making it smaller, it'll update the rest of the buttons. But if you don't want to do that, you just right click on it and where is the button? But it should say like ungroup.
There it is.
Ungroup symbol, there we go. I was double clicking on it, yeah. So now I can make it smaller and it won't update the rest of them, which is really nice.
Cool. And then you could make a smaller symbol if you wanted to.
Right, exactly. Actually, I might do that.
Eric says he wants to be popular. It's a lot of hard work.
It is. Not gonna lie.
Kiara asks, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, we do a lot of traveling. So, like, we speak at creative jams. And if you guys don't know what creative jams are, hopefully one is coming to your city soon, but it's an event where Adobe comes and you get to listen to speakers. And it's all kinds of speakers, like photographers, designers. Usually there's a theme, so like it'll be like XD or Illustrator. And then there's a bunch of events, and you get to network with other creatives, so really fun event. So we speak at those, and then like we get to go to design conferences, and you know, meet a bunch of cool people like you. Yeah, it's been amazing. I don't remember what I was gonna... Oh yeah, move to important. So on this page, for instance, if you get something that's incorrectly labeled as spam or important, you can click on the drop-down arrow, or the drop-down kebab is what they call these icons.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't that cute?
Really cute.
And then like the hamburger, you know,
Right.
so keeping it in the food category. But yeah, so if you click the drop-down kebab, you'll get this button and you can say move to important instead of spam, because we all know that Chipotle is an important thing that we don't want to get rid of.
It pretty much kept me alive when I was in school.
Yeah.
Axel, are you asking, he says, is that an internship? The creative residency is not an internship.
No, so they're looking for creatives that are out of school, maybe like recently out of school, or you have a little bit of experience, but creatives that are generally like in the early stages of your career, because it's kind of like a career incubator. Like they really want to take people that are kind of new but have a little bit of like know-how, and obviously you need to be someone that can like work by yourself since I work remotely in St. Louis and I get to work on my project all the time, but you have to be motivated enough that you're not just like sleeping all day or whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, so it's been so fun so far. Change this icon. Just use this male one. What do you think you would do your project on if you got the residency?
I try not to think about that because it complicates my life.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But just kidding.
It's a very like deep question. I
right.
guess. Like, what do you want to do with your life?
The thing that I'm excited about lately is teaching, and
cool.
especially when it's related to printmaking and somehow incorporating Adobe products.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've had this idea brewing about making little kits where there's some sort of physical component with a digital component and pairing it with illustrators and designers and having them lead the design.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love that idea. You should totally do that.
Yeah, although I just said it out loud, so if one of you wants to take my idea and become a resident next year, go for it.
Everyone's going to steal that.
Eric wants to design t-shirts all day.
That'd be fun.
I feel like they like projects with some sort of social
aspect to it.
Yeah.
Like, so my project, since it's about automation, that's a very relevant topic these days, and what with the whole like privacy issues that you're always seeing on the news, I think it's very relevant. And so something it can be relevant, but doesn't necessarily have to be, just something that you're very passionate about and you want to spend a year working on, or something that you would do already outside of, you know, the residency.
Robzilla has been coming up with some really good spam puns.
Okay. Let's hear 'em.
The latest one is Samuel L. Jackson.
Very clever.
Spammy Davis Jr.
So these are like the name of the app.
Yeah.
I love
Keep them coming.
Yeah. It's funny.
Gabriel, that's really funny, but I don't think I can go there.
Oh no. Something inappropriate. 29. So right now I'm working on the sorted mail history page with the calendar drop down. So I'm gonna move. Oh, I wanna ungroup this from the symbol. I don't know why I keep having problems with that. Is it grouped with something? There we go. I don't know.
Huh.
I think it's just one click.
One click.
On group symbol. Okay. Friday.
What's been the most exciting thing that's happened since you became a creative resident?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think just, this is like super cheesy, but gaining more confidence in my design skills. Because it's like, if a big company like Adobe really believes in what you're doing, it's like, okay, I guess I'm doing something right. And, you know, doing things that are totally out of my comfort zone, like speaking at creative jams in front of like 100+ people. Like, what? That's crazy.
So cool.
So yeah, just like doing things out of my comfort zone and like proving to myself that I can do it. Yeah, kind of cheesy.
That's a great feeling. That's not cheesy. Raphael asks if you're interested in the research side of UX.
I am. I would say that I'm more interested in like the visual side. So my background, my what I went to school for was just like a generic visual communications. So I really didn't learn much like UX and UI in school, actually. I learned it mostly at my first job. And like same with research, that wasn't really taught. I kind of learned it as I went. But I still just love the visuals. I think it's such a big part of, obviously research is really important, and I actually had a little like mini internship with one of the Adobe design researchers out here for like a week, so that was awesome. I got to sit down with her and learn like the research best practices and just like how to go about doing interviews. And like one thing I learned was that you don't have to like hire a company to do research necessarily if you're doing a small project like this, or you don't have to like go into a user testing studio with like the mirror and everything, because those are super expensive. Because I definitely, for my own project, I wanted to do some research, but it can be as simple as just like, for my first project, I just like bought a bunch of Starbucks gift cards and sat at a table in Adobe just like upstairs and asked people if they wanted to sit down for 20 minutes and like I can interview them about my project, and just like general problems that they've had with that specific thing. And so you don't have to spend a ton of money if you want to do research. It's as simple as just like talking to someone and asking them about their problems. And yeah.
I've also found that it's really fun and interesting to be on the other side of like to be the person that's responding to a researcher. So if you get the opportunity to participate in something like that, I recommend it.
Definitely. Guess I'll do a little lighter.
Thomas just tuned in. What's the spam movie titles about?
He's still going. The Spam and the Furious.
Gone with the Spam. A little bit of a stretch, but I still like it.
Yeah, Eric's saying a lot of time he just talks to strangers too. Yeah, that's a great way to do research.
Thomas, so we have been polling the chat for names for this app that we're working on, which, not that we're working on, that Andrea is designing.
That's totally okay. You're helping me.
I'm the support. And it's related to sorting mail, and it sort of devolved into a conversation about various spam-related puns. Shaspam. That's a good one. Voodoo.
Britney spammers? Like Britney Spears, I guess. These are great, you guys. I'm I'm really enjoying reading these. We've got like a little monitor set up so we can read everything that's coming in.
I recommend going to behance.net/live and visiting the chat if you are not already there, because there's some grade A puns happening. I love that you included National Geographic.
Yeah, not that I actually don't get any magazines delivered, but like I love National Geographic.
Got it when I was a kid.
Really?
Loved it.
Don't they have like a kid one too? Kid version? Maybe not.
Probably.
I used to get highlights as a kid.
Yeah.
Did you ever get that?
The little search and finds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And those two brothers, they're always doing weird stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember that one. No.
I can't remember what their names were.
That was like a very artistic magazine because there was like coloring pages and highlights, man. Helping me get to where I am today.
It's the little things.
Yes. I get so many AT&T offers, so that is definitely going in spam.
Me too, that and credit cards.
Yes. Okay.
Anthony Sims asks, can you find the can of Spam in the tree?
Oh, Anthony Sims. That's Anna Davis Courts. She's one of the other residents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's in on the highlights.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a friend of Anna's. That's funny. Okay. Done with that page.
This is plugging along.
Yep. And okay, so now we're on to the open history page. So who's been looking at my mail? I want to know. That's like actually never been a problem for me, but you know what? Open history. And luckily a lot of these pages are kind of similar, so I can reuse a lot of the elements.
I like that in XD when you paste something to a new artboard, it kind of just
Goes in the same place.
Yeah,
yes.
automatically.
The best. The best. And let's see.
In about 15 minutes here, 16 minutes, we're going to be taking a look at the challenge submissions. So get those in.
Yay. Can't wait.
So we can look at them. Yeah, I'm excited.
We had some good ones yesterday. What's the theme for today?
The theme for today is creating a flight check-in app for a smartwatch.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Very cool. I haven't done a lot of smartwatch designs, actually. It'd be a good challenge.
Neither have I.
Using that repeat grid again. Gotta love it.
So you can use a repeat grid for text and then edit individual lines.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Which is really nice. And I'm even saying for 30 seconds. Because you want to know that. Silly details. Paste. And I mentioned this yesterday too, but I just love that wherever you move an object, it tells you with the pink lines like how close you are to the other objects. So handy.
I really miss that feature when I'm working in other apps.
Yes.
Anthony says that you've been doing a lot of flying lately for the residency. This is a good challenge.
Yeah.
So maybe you should take a shot at it later.
In
In case you haven't had your fill of Designing apps.
Yeah. Speaking of flying, I saw a funny tweet today, like, oh, I'll do it on the plane is like the biggest lie I've ever told myself, which is so true, because like, when I was flying out here, I was like, oh, I'll prepare for this on the plane, but did not.
Well, you seem really prepared to me. But honestly, how could you compete with an in-flight movie?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I tell myself the same lie daily.
Yes.
I'll do it on the train. So I can relate.
Yeah. Actually, since I have the residency, I don't really drive that much anymore. I mean, not to like commute,
Right,
So it's like,
right. That must be nice.
Yeah, it's so nice. Because I actually lived in San Jose like a few years ago, so I don't know how you guys do the traffic out here. It's so bad. How long is your commute?
It takes me about an hour and 40 door to door.
Each way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But
that is nice. At least on the train, you can do other things.
You can do
it's
other
not
things.
Like you're driving.
I've never read more books than I'm reading now.
That's good.
You can catch them on
That's
podcasts.
Good. Yes.
Final Fantasy IX is available on the App Store now, so do a lot of that.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's also nice to have a little barrier on either side of your workday, right?
That's true. Because a lot of times for me, it just kind of like runs together.
Yeah.
I mean, there's pros and cons,
home.
Because it's like I get up and like move to my bedroom to my office, but it's not that far, So it's like, when does your day actually end?
Right.
But
Eric's asking me if I get to work 6 hours a day, and the answer is no, I work as long as it takes. Final spam to see.
That's a good one.
Voodoo Val says that she'd be playing Hearthstone on the train.
Oh. Very nice.
You're almost done.
Yeah. Let's see. Settings. Okay. Now I just need to add all these icons. So I'm gonna copy these. And the spam one. So this is the settings page where you can access all of these pages down here.
How do you go about deciding whether you're gonna represent something with an icon or a line of text?
I mean, personally, I just love using icons, but if it's like a header, something super important, then I'll use an icon. But if it's like, if it's something on the page like important or spam, like it's not the most important feature on the page, so I won't use an icon.
That makes sense.
But icons are fun, so I try to use them as often as I can. And like you said, like with the hieroglyphs, they're part of our language now, so.
And eventually that text is more or less invisible once you get used to using that.
Right. I'm using a lot of blue here. Maybe I should try to mix it up a little.
Do you ever... So a user will never see all of these screens at one time, the way that you spend your whole life looking at them when you're designing. So do you have any strategies for sort of getting a fresh eye on something?
I mean, I think just taking a break, honestly. Like, take an hour break, go do something else, and then come back to it. But and also like using the prototype mode, so you're not seeing everything like your huge artboard all at once,
Right.
and you're like actually clicking through it helps.
How often do you stop to take a step back and actually see how something works?
Oh, quite frequently, yeah. At least, a few times a day during a project, I'll do that. And also, I found that, so when I work at home, I have like one of those big monitors, and honestly, just something as simple as like walking across the room and like squinting your eyes to see like how much negative space there is and if the elements like all make sense together. It's a simple trick, but I feel like it helps. Let's see what this one is. H3. Okay.
Those drop shadows just make those buttons want to be pressed.
Hopefully, yes.
How do you keep yourself motivated to continue doing your challenges? If it wasn't your job to do that.
Sure, yeah. I don't know, it's just something that I find intriguing, like learning new things every day and like seeing what else is out there. I get a lot of inspiration from other designers and like just the satisfaction, I guess, of building up your own portfolio. Because I mentioned this yesterday. I think that's part of like why I got the residency, is that I had a really robust kind of built up portfolio. I had a lot of these daily challenges already, so I could show examples of like, okay, this is the kind of thing that I'll be doing during the residency. So yeah, like having a really well built out portfolio and website I think is super important when you're applying for jobs and just like networking. I recently got some new business cards, and I don't have any with me, but they're embossed, and I love them. But just speaking of networking. And I hadn't gotten business cards for a long time, actually, but with the residency, we're using them a lot more. But
Right.
nothing like a good business card, even though everyone's using like Instagram handles these days, but
Something that I've seen lately is illustrators just using their business card for a mini illustration. When they meet somebody new, they'll just do a quick doodle and give it to somebody.
Oh, like actually in person.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought that was a really simple,
really
cool idea.
Yeah. Very cool.
And speaking of portfolios, if I can give any advice to people who are who in the chat might be beginners, it would be to cultivate that skill of documenting your work.
Yes,
because I
definitely.
haven't done that in a long time, because I've been working for Adobe, and now I have literally dozens of projects that I have to document if I ever want to take a good look at my portfolio.
Right.
So,
employers want to see like the whole process too.
Mm-hmm.
Like how did you start out? Did you like ask all the stakeholders questions, and then showing all of the research and the wireframes, even like the paper sketching, I show literally everything. But yeah, I always forget to do that until like months down the road. I'm like, oh gosh.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. The creative field has a hard time. Like, we can't just send everyone our resume. It's got to be like everything.
Right. Your whole identity is part of the package.
Yes. Let's see, maybe I'll make these blue. Yeah, I like that better. want to make sure I'm not changing the other ones though. Okay, no, I'm not.
It's so satisfying looking at the zoomed out view of all the
Don't you
screens
love that?
you've designed.
Like, all the artboards. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, so I didn't really go through these since I kind of already worked on these, but for the screens that had a lot of information on it, something that's really easy that you can do is Illustrator XD has the scrolling functionality in prototype mode. So literally all you have to do is click the artboard and then you can drag the bottom down to show more.
Cool.
And then when you're in the prototype mode, obviously it won't show like everything, only when you're scrolling. So super helpful.
Does the iOS UI show, like the curved corners, for example, does that show up in your prototype?
Yeah, I think it
So
will.
you would just turn it off?
Yeah, I'll
Got
just
it.
hide those. Okay, so down here we've got this sorting. I'm gonna change this button color.
I noticed that in your initial sketch of that screen that you had a curved line.
Yeah, I've just decided against that.
I kind of liked it.
I did like it, but I don't know. With the layout, it just didn't really add anything, I thought. No, I'm always trying to do like different things. Like, I don't know. We just do so many like cards, and which I love cards. Like, I think it helps like break up sections of your content very easily. But you know, interactions that are a little different, like, you know, swipe up for the menu, or like on like some of my daily hacks. Let me show some of those. Like on this one, adding you know, like a circular like drop down, or like on this like automated bed one, using this like circular slider. So just like trying to think outside the box for things. Or like this slider. Clock, notifications. Okay, I think the only page that I'm not 100% on is this one. Let me work on this a little more.
Is it the visual that's bothering you, or?
Yeah, I think
What
it's the
about it?
colors. Not 100% on. Because then if I like the blue on this, but if I make that blue, then it'll be too much for the rest of
Right.
these. So maybe if I make it like darker blue.
Just a reminder, you have about 2 minutes to submit your XD daily creative challenge, so get those in so
Can't
we
wait
can
to see.
judge them.
3 minutes until the challenge deadline. How many people do we have so far? Or have they submitted anything yet?
Looks like one so
One.
far. Have any of your challenges become something more real?
Unfortunately, no. If anyone wants to fund one of my app designs, I will take you up on that.
Which one are you most proud of?
Let me see. I think I like, this one is like the most realistic to me. This is a Bluetooth, it works with like your Bluetooth activated sunglasses, or enabled sunglasses, and it'll tell you when you've gotten too much sun exposure. So, you know, that could be really relevant for like older folks who don't know, you know, when they've been outside too long or something, and it'll like vibrate. So that one I feel like is very realistic. This one I like because I have a cat, and it's like an automated pet feeder, so you can adjust like when and how much you feed your pet, and like it'll clean the bowl for you. So I would use that a lot.
Yeah.
And then this one I like also. This is an automated grocery list map. So like whatever items you already have in your list of things to buy, it'll automatically map it out for you in the grocery store. So I would use that to save some time.
I need that. I detest going to the grocery store.
Me too.
Okay, so actually we have 2 submissions so far.
Yay.
Adrian and Eric.
Okay. Ooh, that's a colorful one.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. Just looking and thinking.
I love the gradients.
I know. I'm really enjoying those.
Oh wow, that's really nice that you can see all the card options. Oh, okay. So those are all of the different flight
Ones you've taken in the past.
Okay. I feel like this one might be a little bit hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
It's
like
going to be much smaller than
flight
that.
and date.
Mm-hmm.
Check bags. That's cute. I like the icon. It's a nice touch.
I like it too.
Oh, and how it tells you how much time you have before your flight.
Yeah, at all times, because I
Yeah.
find myself constantly checking.
Yes. Oh, okay. So that's a carousel. You can
Yeah,
swipe through,
I see
select
that.
a seat. I think on that one maybe I would add like some arrows or like a confirmation button. It needs a CTA. Like, is there an action we have to take there, or
Right.
does swiping confirm that you have selected a seat?
That makes sense. So maybe the seat that you've chosen would show up.
Yeah. Flight itinerary. Got all the info there.
This is nice. I mean, it's so useful to have the terminal and gate because it changes constantly.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd maybe like some icons there.
Mm-hmm.
So you, since it is like so small on your wrist, it'd be easier to see at a glance, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I love that. I love that one. Very nice.
I think those icons would look really good. Small.
Yes. I mean, I think there's a lot of room still on that for like more information. Like maybe how many bags you want to check or how much your bags weigh.
What the weight limit is. It's probably more useful when you're at home.
Right.
But maybe you get a notification or something.
Yeah. But maybe that's what's in the plus. I'm just not sure.
Yeah. That would maybe be the next step is to figure out what that goes to.
Yeah. Yeah, that one I think has a lot of info. Oh, so that's like your first flight and then your second flight. Maybe if it said round trip for like the title, so you knew that's like all one trip.
Or if it's a connection. I can see why that'd be relevant if it were a connection, less relevant if it's your flight back, right?
Right.
But I'd probably want to know what my seat number was. There should maybe be a screen where that's big.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe it knows somehow when you're on the plane or boarding, close to your boarding time.
Yeah.
Or when you pass through the threshold.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Like when you pass through, it'll like tell you, like, give you a little diagram of, okay, your seat is 5 rows ahead on the right.
Right.
That'd be
It'd
interesting.
be amazing if it could also know how much baggage room there is, and like where there's a spare compartment.
Yes. That's like a problem I always have. Because I always forget to log in or check in. I literally am always at like C35 every time.
I'm
and
obsessive
it's always
about
on the
it.
long flights too. Like,
Oh, man.
From St. Louis to here.
I'm obsessive. I'm that person who has to click the button
good
right
for
away.
You. I need to set a reminder. For
Well, it's just
myself.
because I'm cranky. Like I just don't want to deal with everybody else.
Do you get the window or the aisle?
Always the window.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so this is Eric's submission.
Nice. Oh, okay. So we saw his yesterday.
Oh,
So he's been doing them every day, and
Okay.
then he's adding on to this, this page. Such dedication.
It's a pretty awesome opportunity to get some feedback from a talented working professional. So I highly recommend everyone submitting. Has anything changed since?
No, it's probably at the
it?
bottom. That one's the same. The video one.
Feel free to drive if you want.
Oh, sure. So we saw the bike one. Flower one. This one actually was a video.
Oh, cool.
Prototype, yeah. Flowers. Oh, this isn't a new one, is it? No, okay, so this is the same.
Kudos to you, Eric, for
Yeah.
doing several challenges.
And I like the layout too, like how you're kind of like overlapping everything.
I know, the grid
Yeah.
situation is appealing.
Was anything updated in this one, Eric? Let us know. I did make something. Oh, it just hasn't added yet. Oh, do we need to refresh or something?
Sounds like he just wants more feedback.
Oh, okay.
Getting kudos on your presentation in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, it just wants your feedback. Okay. Yeah. I like the blur background here. I always love a good blur background. Oh, see how you look. Okay, so this is a problem that I've had with Skype. Whenever you hover over the video icon, I thought it was a preview of yourself, but it's actually the other person can see you. So that is a fatal flaw. Like, they need to change that. So I think that's good that you point out very clearly that see how you look. Like, the other person isn't going to see you. I mean, that's what I would assume. So that's nice.
I actually have a ton of anxiety about
Yeah.
like I need to know or make sure that I'm muted or that my when I want my camera off, I need it to be reaffirmed that it's off. So I appreciate that too.
Yes, it's in the little details.
Yeah.
I even sometimes keep tape over my monitor. Paranoid like that. Okay, so something we mentioned yesterday was just that I think the text could be a little bigger. The 432 text over here.
Yeah. It looks like you were trying to be arty.
Yeah. Jack Johnson. Okay, so we got and maybe the arrows in the girls video could be a little bit bigger. I mean, I guess this is on your laptop, so maybe it would be big enough, but kind of hard to tell right now. I guess compared to the other icons, it's a little small. I think keeping the consistency between like the circles and like these on the left don't have circles, so like either choose one or the other. And the volume maybe, to me that seems off, but maybe it's just like the lowest setting, so maybe like putting a line through that icon. And I'm not sure what this icon would be. Oh, switching maybe, switching the feeds. And maybe just like moving this guy over a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like you were trying to express something with that spacing, but it's not quite enough to feel intentional.
This is kind of cool. So was this a swipe, I wonder, or just like a notification, I guess?
I can see how that would animate really nicely.
Yeah. Like maybe this pops up and is kind of like pulsing or something until you answer it. And like these fly out from behind it.
Right.
Love that. Continuing with the circles. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna ask if that's something that you envision when you're working on apps, or if you.
The animation. Yeah, definitely. And sometimes I'll even sketch out like how I want the animation to be before I actually go through and start animating it. Especially if it's something that's like has a lot of keyframes or something. If I'm doing it in After Effects. Then yeah, I'll definitely like kind of make a storyboard.
That's another thing XD is good for, storyboards.
Yes,
it's not
definitely.
It's designated use, but I use it for that all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Okay, so this is a different layout. shared transportation rental. I love that the graphic is really big up here. That's like the main thing that you see first. $5 a day. That's pretty cheap. I would use that.
Yeah.
I think the buttons down here, I would choose one or the other to be like more of the focus. So maybe one of them is filled in and the other one is like a lighter gray color, just to differentiate like which one is more important. See available e-bikes. It's cool. I would maybe keep one of these pictures for these over here. It's just kind of hard to see like the whole thing, but maybe he was trying to be artsy. Like.
That's a problem that I encounter. I try to do something that is creative or artsy when really it's just an impediment to people understanding what I'm getting at.
Oops, did mine. I think for the, till next billing cycle starts, I think for these, I would maybe make the hour and the minute smaller, because right now it's just seems like a lot.
I agree.
And maybe add a little battery icon next to battery level. And this one could have an icon too, maybe like a clock or something. And where did this menu come from? I'm wondering. Because I don't see these two lines up here. So maybe just, keeping this consistent, adding the hamburger menu over here as well. And I love the touch of the Apple Pay. Very nice. Cool. And the flower one. Oh yeah, video. So cool.
And this is something that you can export from XD, right?
Yeah. And he went the extra step of adding the iPhone mockup, which is really nice. Nice touch.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
All that takes so much time. It's curating the images and sorting out the type.
I think one small thing that I noticed was when you're scrolling where all the flowers are, like right here, this flower I don't think should be fixed. Maybe that was an accident, I'm not sure. But I like the choice of imagery, very clear to see what the bouquets look like. Is that the last one? Oh, we can look at these. Okay. It's kind of a neat idea, like the layering of the pictures on top of each other. Yeah.
I like it too.
Very nice.
Good job, Eric.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Keep going.
Very cool. Was that the only other one we had?
Let's take a look. Well, I think that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing, guys. And I want to see tomorrow if you guys have any as well.
Oh, we do have one more.
Oh, yay. Fancy. Okay. Gustavo. Okay, so I think we saw this one yesterday.
Okay.
Or maybe he added. Okay. Do you want us to review all of these, or
Let's take a look at what's new. Maybe there's something at the bottom. These are pretty in-depth challenges.
So much work.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Voodoo Val says that it looks like Gustavo did update. It's the last one.
Okay.
These are real life problems being solved.
Well, I think we saw the money one. Was it? We can review the money one if you want.
I like the palette.
Yeah. I like the dark background. It's very serious and I want them to be, you know, serious with my money. It's a little, I guess, distracting with the text behind this CTA. So maybe, you know, add a gradient, transitional gradient, like these kind of falling off the page, or just like a cutoff with the same color with a scroll button or scroll bar. Recent transactions. So I think this, oh, you can see list view, or I would assume there'd be another button here if you'd want to view it in list or like grid or something. Actual money and prediction. Oh, I like that. The prediction is a different color. I would almost make this button maybe a different color, or like white as the background, just so it's a little more pops out at you. Looks great. The grid is minimalistic. I like that. Very cool. We reviewed these yesterday. Did you want me to go over these? I add scroll. Okay, sorry. Okay. Oh, very nice. Yeah, the scroll. Okay.
You have a lot of friends.
Yeah. Is this clickable? Oh, it's clickable. Okay.
What is this magic?
Okay, so let's go here. See more. Okay, so detail view of each person. We've got the transfer money, transactions between us. I love that you added icons for all of these. That's a nice touch. Maybe just a tad more padding in between the icon and the text, just kind of running together a little bit.
And I'd add more specificity in the design of the sent versus received too.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And a QR code, man.
How do you scan the QR code if it's inside your screen?
Maybe like someone else.
Maybe
it's like Snapchat where your profile is also the QR code and then like other people
that
can
makes
add
perfect
you.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might be a little
Someone
small
else.
though. I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like that should be on its own screen so that they don't see all that other stuff.
Right. And then the save I think could be a little bit bigger. I think it's kind of small. Oh, we can click on that. QR code saved. Okay. Cool. Is there anything else clickable? Transfer money. Okay. Oh, wow. Lots of details. Oh my gosh. So we've got the QR code, search. Oh, these are, okay, so that's your credit card info. Very nice. And I like that when it's activated, it's the green color. Choose your bank account. An overlay, okay. The overlay is a little hard to see, I guess. Like, maybe a little more contrast between the background and this one. And choose the date. Cool.
Maybe it's just me, but I feel like those dates are a little small for a finger.
Can't go back. Message. Oh, that's nice. Add a little
I like the
note.
little animations.
Yeah. Account. Gosh, this is so detailed. Great job, man. Choose your bank account. Okay. I wish there was a little more space between like this section of content and this section of content. Go to money account. Okay. $100. Transfer money. That's good that you have like you're double checking to make sure.
There's not an extra zero in there.
Right. So maybe on that past one, it would say the amount as well, not just, are you sure you want to transfer? And like who it's going to. Put your finger in the fingerprint reader. Oh, cute. Operation made a success. Again, kind of formal with the text, so maybe, I mean, it is
might be enough.
Yeah, it is like kind of a formal app though. It's with your money, so maybe it does make sense. Awesome. You got the scrolling down. It looks amazing. Very nice. Yeah, a lot of friends. A lot of transactions. Okay, just making sure you can't click on anything else. Yeah, we did that one. Cool, looks great.
Looks really good.
Yeah. Thanks so much for sending these in, guys.
I feel more motivated to work on a challenge myself.
I know. I know, me too. How do you post the clickable? I'm not sure what that means.
How did he put this in his?
Oh, I'm not sure actually. I think it's a new feature in Behance.
Cool.
I'm not sure though. I'll figure that out tonight and let you know tomorrow in the next live stream.
Was there anything in your app? Any final touches before?
Yeah, I think
we
I'm
wrap
just gonna change these icon colors, and then I'm pretty much done. And then tomorrow I'll be doing the prototype. I might add a few more screens just because prototyping doesn't take that long. But yeah. Focus on the transitions and the prototyping. And generally when I'm in prototyping mode, that's where I can really see if there are any problems since you get to click through it. So I'll probably see if there are any problems and make changes and adjustments if necessary.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got. Let's see. So we got the login, we've got the tutorial screens, we've got the home page, the swipe up menu. Still debating. I don't know. Do you like the dark blue or should I keep it gray for all of these?
I think I liked the gray.
You like the gray. Yeah, I think it's just too much.
Although I could see it animating into that color as it sort of as it goes.
That's a good idea. Okay. Yeah.
But
Let's see.
it'll have that banner up top, right?
Right. That's true. That's true. I better keep it gray. Actually, that's not the same color. Yeah. Okay. Good call. Good thing you're here, Erica. Get a second opinion. Okay, so then we've got the menu overlay, the sorted mail, the mail history, when your mailbox was opened history, and then all of the settings on this page. And then these are all the settings pages, so choosing the spam threshold, manually saying what mail you have, and the important mail, and then your privacy options, lock, and notifications. Yeah, I think we're good.
That is so much stuff.
Tried to get a lot done today.
So we are continuing to stream tomorrow, and we'll start out with another, we'll take a look at the schedule here. We'll start out with another XD Daily Creative Challenge in the morning with Sarah Raj, followed up by Zachary Nielsen and Chris Cannon with Paul Tranny. Sarah comes back, and then we will wrap this app up. Yep. You will wrap this app up. I'm going to continue taking credit for your efforts.
I love it. Hey.
We'll be here at 1 p.m. PST, and we look forward to seeing you all.
Yeah, thanks for joining, guys.
Bye.
Bye.